Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. I've been sitting here making faces at the camera while Mark's been trying to set it up. So, I don't know what today is. Today's Sunday. It has been a long day. Today is Sunday, May 1st, so it's May Day. We got up this morning, like probably most of you did, got dressed and got ready for church. That's what we did, right? We went to Twin Villages Church and we heard Roddick preach a very good message about when Jesus, after he was raised from the dead, the physical resurrection, and he was still here on earth, when he went and the fishermen had been out fishing, hadn't caught anything, he told them to throw their net over on the other side, and they were like, oh, we remember this. That's Jesus. And Peter jumped out of the boat to go see Jesus, and Jesus said, Peter, do you love me? And it was just a very good message about Peter's restoration after denying Christ in that time. I just realized, girls, can you close the door because it's kind of loud. So we have, well, can you check on Josiah first?
No.
He's sitting up or something. So anyway, I just realized the voice thing is on and it's kind of loud. You could just turn it down a little bit. They are listening to Luke, I think. I don't know. At bedtime, they all share a room, and to keep them from talking to each other, we tend to put on something for them to listen to. So it's Luke tonight. So we went and we heard the really good message. They did some new songs at church. It was fun to catch up with people. So this church that we visited the past 2 weeks now has a lot of people that I knew from another church we used to go to. This was a church plant. I don't know, 10 years ago? 15 years ago?
No.
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a really long time ago.
I think June is the 5-year anniversary.
Okay, well, anyway, they are a North American
Mission
board church plant. And so these were a bunch of people that I knew. A lot of the elders in the congregation are people that are parents of kids that I was in youth group, like youth group age of, or I babysat their kids who were just slightly younger than me. And so it's been good to catch up with everybody, see where families are and all of that. They had a luncheon today after church, so we got to stay and spend time talking to some people because not very many people stayed, which ended up being nice because it was quiet enough for Mark and Josiah to both be able to enjoy the time. Mark thought he was going to have to sit outside during the luncheon because things usually get too loud for him. Because of the dystonia, if things are too loud and there's too many conversations going on, Mark's brain kind of shuts off.
I was already.
He started out the morning. We got to church and he couldn't walk in. We had to hold his arm and walk him along. I keep looking over here because Josiah's camera's over here. So just Mark can keep an eye on that while or we can just put it on the camera. Okay. So just keeping an eye on him while we have the door closed because of his seizures. So anyway, today we did that. We came home and enjoyed the beautiful weather outside. It was like 65 degrees here today, and that's the nicest day we've had so far this spring. So we were very excited about it. It was a little breezy though, so it was a little cool, but it was good. We went outside. Okay, mom tip, mom hack. I don't know what you want to call it. Spend 97 cents and buy 97 cents a piece. Buy each of your children a water bottle, spray bottle from Walmart. That has been the best. I bought them yesterday and they have not put them down. Every time we've been outside, they've been spraying water. They're spraying the car, they're spraying the driveway, they're spraying themselves. Trying to spray it in the air, see if they can make a rainbow. All kinds of stuff. They're enjoying them. So definitely $4 for the kids that I bought them for. They've been great.
Sorry.
So we played outside.
I'm just making random noises over here.
We played outside today, which was really fun. Grandma came up. And we enjoyed that time. Then for supper, you guys always ask me about my meals. So this morning we had scrambled eggs, rolls, and vegetables. For lunch, Virginia made a taco dish. Virginia, what was in your taco dish? We had a luncheon, so we had to take something.
Beans, rice, rotel, diced tomatoes, corn,
Chicken.
taco seasoning.
So Josiah had a pre-measured his thing, and the rest of us had the luncheon, and we had that. Virginia's having trouble over there.
I'm trying to find a recipe for Josiah, and I went to type in dairy free, and it came out fairy free.
You want fairy?
No fairies in brownies.
I don't want any berries in my brownies.
So anyway, so we did that. We came home, had supper. So we were outside. We came in, had an early supper. And then we watched the movie God's Not Dead, We the People, which is God's Not Dead 4. If you haven't seen the God's Not Dead movies, they're available different places. This one we rented from Amazon Prime for $4. Which wasn't bad, and we can now watch it again tomorrow, which the kids are already requesting. So God's Not Dead 4, the basis of it is there's a homeschool co-op that's led by this church. The state comes in and says, you're not running your co-op well, you should send all your kids back to school. You have 10 days, right? 10 days to send your kids back to public school or agree to teach what we think you should teach them. And the parents say no, and the parents go to Washington, D.C. and fight for homeschool rights. It was very interesting. We don't agree with everything that was said in the movie. I'll explain.
Yeah, go ahead. Here we go.
They made an argument. So, of course, the people on the education board or whatever,
the
subcommittee,
people.
was questioning them and said, oh, your Bible is a whole bunch of patriarchal, racist,
Amen.
egotistical, all this stuff.
Not racist, no. Patriarchal, yes.
And so he was saying that at the time that the Bible was written, the Bible actually held a lot of esteem for women. And I agree with that part of it. Mm-hmm. The Bible shows that women were very valued by God in all of the Bible. Like from the very beginning of the Bible all the way to the end, women were seen in high regard. But the part that she brings up, the subcommittee lady, is saying that your Bible is really non-woman, or however she wanted to say it, because it tells women that they should wear head covers. Well, we wear head covers. But he used, how did you say it? You were glad that they found an argument?
Found a cultural argument I didn't know already.
So
that's not a compliment.
We've watched a lot of sermons about head covering. We've read a lot of books about head covering, and we never heard the argument. He said that it was because women of that time, the single women, had to uncover their heads pretty much so people, like men, could gawk at them and like sexually look at them because they didn't have their heads covered. And so the Bible told them to cover their heads so that they didn't have to be looked at. But the thing is, it talks about wives, like women who are married, covering their heads in that passage. So it didn't tell the single women to cover their heads, so it didn't work for his argument. But anyway, other than that part of the movie was really good. It talked a lot about homeschool freedoms. It talked also, there's a part where it comes in and it talks about people who are homeschooling, not for religious reasons, but because their schools are underfunded, or because they don't want to give vaccinations, or because child with special needs. There's all kinds of reasons why people don't homeschool that have nothing. Sorry, the people do homeschool that have nothing to do with religion. So it was just a very well done movie. We enjoy all of those movies. Not that we agree with every point in them, but we definitely feel that those types of things need to be talked about in our society. So we watched that. Thought it was really good. Right.
Thanks for the wheelchair.
Yes, thank you. I'm not gonna explain that whole story unless you want me to.
No,
Okay.
No, I just thought it was a funny way to put it.
So, anyway,
If we really like you can private message us to get the story, but we're not actually gonna tell like everybody. So you'll figure out if you're in the privileged few.
So anyway,
That's one way to get personal messages sent to you.
so my mom came up and watched that with us. And then we also, there was something else we were talking about this evening that I was going to mention on the video, and now I can't remember what we were talking about. No, it was something you and I were talking about in the driveway. We were talking about
Josiah
something.
would be put in a special needs class if you were in public school.
We did talk about that. That wasn't what I was going to say. But
you
yes,
brought that up.
we were talking about how they were saying in the movie that the state person walked into this co-op in the middle of theology class and said, oh, they didn't have enough science equipment. Well, they weren't doing a science class. And, oh, they weren't, teaching to standards. Well, they weren't teaching any of the things you would have taught in public school. So you don't know that they were teaching those poorly. You just know that they were teaching a Bible class. But anyway, we were saying that they say homeschoolers would be behind on different things. But if we sent Josiah to school, if you don't know, Josiah is our 9-year-old who has cerebral palsy and epilepsy. I worked in enough special ed classrooms to know that because of therapies and different things going on, kids miss what's taught to all of the students. And I believe that all students should be able to get a fair and equal education. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but there are things that are going to get missed because Josiah would be in physical therapy. He would be in occupational therapy. He would be in speech therapy. He'd be in all these other therapies, and he'd be missing things. Yet the school would still graduate him at 18 or 21, whatever the age is that they would graduate him, without a full schooling experience because he would have been pulled out for
He
other
would
things.
not be able to pass a standardized test either.
But then they say
Like, he'll never be.
that you can't homeschool your kids, you don't do it well enough because you don't teach them history the way we teach them. But not every kid's getting that history education because kids are getting taken out for these different things. That was all I was saying, was that Josiah would not fit into the regular classroom. And the special needs classrooms, I worked in a special needs classroom with some students that were very disabled, for lack of a better word. Like, some of them would not be able to even hold down a job. But they were being taught things to be productive in society. I remember helping them do things to be able to feel beneficial to the school building around them. They would help like load the soda machines, and they would help count money from the soda machines and take it down to the bank, and those types of things where they were actually contributing to the school. And I think that the program that I worked with was a very, very good program for the students who needed it. I just feel like those students aren't getting the same education as everyone else in the school system, and they still get graduated. And yet we're said that because homeschoolers don't get the same education as the kids in the public school system, they shouldn't get graduation. So that's my pet peeve. So, no, there was something else I was going to say about things. I remember. I was going to say why we don't edit our videos. That's what
Why
I
we
was going
don't
to say.
edit videos? That's exactly why. Because of this.
Because I want to just say what's on my heart. I'm hoping that our channel is something where someone can watch it and say, that's a real person on the other side. I know people who their Instagram accounts or Facebook accounts or YouTube channels or any of those things don't match up with real life. And I'm not saying everything you see is perfect to real life. I do not show you when I have to correct the children or when
wipe
there's a
someone's
poopy
bum.
diaper on the floor or that type of thing. But I also, like, if you watched yesterday's video of the library haul, you saw that my 2.5-year-old was not very happy because I let somebody else do the showing of the books. I'm not going to edit out those things unless necessary so you can like hear the video and things. But I'm not going to edit those out because I want you to see that this is real life. I hope that if you come into my home, if you were to come visit me tomorrow, you would say, oh, that's the same person I saw on camera the other day.
Feel free to do so.
Yeah. I mean, you might want to call us to make sure we're home. Not that we ever go anywhere, but I want this to be real. The other thing is, my job, you're still watching him, right?
Yeah.
My job is to be here for my kids, for my husband, to be training the kids, teaching them how to do chores, teaching them how to do all those things. If I were to spend the time scripting what I was going to say in these videos, and then we were to spend the time editing these videos, I feel like we would be taking away from the job God has given us. And I'm not saying that every YouTuber that scripts and edits their videos is doing that, but because of the unique needs in our family, I don't always know when Mark's going to be able to hold this camera for me to do a video. Because this morning at church, Mark was not, like, he was needing someone to physically hold him up in his chair for about 20 minutes. So for our family, I can't say, here's what we're going to do in this time frame and all of that. Also with Josiah's seizures, things, I mean, right now I might have to turn off this camera so I can go run and deal with a seizure. And that's what I need to do. So I wouldn't worry about it looks unfinished. I would just post the video and let you guys know in the comments or something that he had a seizure and I wasn't able to do anymore.
True
That's-
reality TV.
Yes, it's because of the needs of our family, and that's why we choose to do our videos like this. So if you're somebody who doesn't like to watch these edited videos and you wish that I would do more professional looking things, I'm just not the channel for you, and that's okay. I don't really mind that I'm not the channel for you. I don't want to take away from a mom doing her task to make videos. Like, I don't want to take time away from your family for you to watch videos where I'm taking time away from my family to say you need to spend time with your family. And I'm also trying to make videos that you can watch with your kids. Not that you have to watch all these videos with your kids.
Or make with your kids.
But I want to make videos that if you have this video on while you're washing dishes and your kids see it, you're not like, oh no, what are they seeing? I want this to be things they can hear about. And sometimes I will come into the other room and make a video. Like, I made a whole video on breastfeeding. You might not want your teenage boy hearing that. I'm okay with that. Whatever. I might make a video on a wife loving her husband, and it might be something you don't want your kids hearing. But I make these G-rated, and I want it to be something that the whole family can experience, watch, whatever. So that's why we do the videos the way we do. Just wanted to kind of explain. And so again, I've had people that have told me that I should get better lighting, I should do this, I should do this. This is what our family does. Most of the time I talk about Bible in these videos because during the day we do Bible study as a family and we read Bible a lot, but I also don't want to just throw in a Bible verse to make it look like I'm talking about Bible, because like when I did the library haul yesterday, I wasn't going to stop in the middle and be like, and John 1:1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It's true. Bible's fine. I just am trying to explain what we do throughout the day. Like, the things you're hearing are because it's discussions we've had as a family, not because I read something so that I'd have something to share with you on these videos. So I guess that's what I wanted to explain in this video.
We are who we are, and we're not fancy. But
we're not fancy. We're plain.
We did finish the debate last night.
Oh,
Doug Wilson debate.
Yes, last night we finished. So
Doug Wilson debate.
were they debating about Doug Wilson? So we watched a debate, Doug Wilson and James White. Oh, if the video turns off, it's because this guy woke up. Okay, hey.
Hey, little baby.
So the video was Doug Wilson and James White talking about when you give kids communion. Whether you do it at this age because they grabbed a piece of communion bread off the tray, or whether you do it...
We don't give him any other food for that reason.
Or whether you do it once you have believing children. As a family, we do believing children. So Virginia and Naomi take communion in our family, along with Mark and I, which is kind of interesting because the church that we've attended the past 2 weeks, everybody walks up to get their communion, which is great. I think it's a fine way to take it. But both weeks, Mark and I have had people sleeping on top of us when it comes time for communion time. So the girls go up and ask for 2 pieces of bread and 2 cups of wine each.
Double dipping communion girls.
And I get the bread blessed twice because I have to take 2 pieces.
Breck is very nice. He lets us have 2.
Doesn't charge you extra. Okay.
And when she says blessed, she doesn't mean like the priest is. We're Baptist. It was just
He
No, like
said
he
God
says-
bless.
Yeah.
He said God bless.
the deacon who handed it to them said, God bless, because it was 2 pieces. Elder.
They had biblical positions in this church.
That's right. So anyway, so it was just interesting. So yeah, we watched the debate. You can find it on Canon Press, and you have to just sign up for a free account. But we watched it. Doug's position is you give anybody who's following anyone who's following the service, you give them their communion. And
did you notice I said there was a serious scriptural lack? And what was it you said about that?
I said, well, when you don't have any Bible verses to support it, then you don't make a biblical argument.
so anyway, we enjoyed it though, and we like to watch things like that as a family. Well, like as with the older girls, so that we can discuss them.
We're a little weird.
Right? So, that's the end of our video tonight. I probably went way too long,
Only
but
19 minutes or so.
I'm going to put this guy back to sleep and then send the girls off to bed too because it's late. We, watching the movie, put everyone to bed late.
It's
so
8:20 something. Just late.
That's late for us.
It's
So.
really late.
So how things work in our family is the little kids usually go to bed between 6:30 and 7. And the big girls hang out with us until 8:30 when we kick them out of our room. They don't have to go to bed right at 8:30. Naomi goes to bed at 9. Virginia, as an adult, she gets to decide when she goes to bed. And Mark and I go to bed around 9 because we're just tired old people.
Don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
So, anyway, so yeah,
Why
it's
do
late.
you do that?
What?
You
I
daddy?
know where that came from. Why do you do that?
Anyway.
So anyway, So anyway, we put the kids to bed late tonight because we watched the movie. So we didn't get them in bed till about 7:30. So that's it. We're going to see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. Thank you for joining our chaos. Bye.
Bye.